full match with the sharpener. If it's completely open, I'll just simply remove it. If it's put a couple of balls on it, I'll leave it there. If you want to move it, ask for it. I'll pull the time out and you can expect it to go back to your chair. If it's really different, I'll say that we'll have that debate. Okay? So, when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, black. Would you like to break?
Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. It's, well, not morning actually, it's just ticked over to the afternoon, 6 minutes past 12, and we're ready to go with day 2 of event number 3 of the Supreme Pool Series. This is the Strachan Cup. In action this morning, one of the boys from the West Country, from Plymouth, applies his trade from the Plaza. It's Ches Graham, and winning the lag and getting us underway all the way from Australia is Jake McCartney. This is a losers round game, race to 8.
Yellow balls in play.
Two tough opponents here. Hard to pick a winner. Seen quite a lot of both of them play in the past. Jez, quite well known as probably being one of the best doublers and treblers in the game. He just pulls out all kinds of shots, cocked hats. So welcome to a new day. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but it's a bit grey here, a bit overcast. It was that fine rain that is just horrible. So we're going to stay here for the day. We don't need to venture outside. We've got action throughout the day. So Jake is quite a bit thinner on this to the middle than he would have liked. Can he avoid the red? I think he can just screw to side cushion. He's not going to be able to get himself really nicely on this black. It's going to be a kind of half ball. Just makes it slightly more missable, but definitely shouldn't be at this level. And that's a nice shot and a very nice clearance from Jake early doors. We saw Jake in action yesterday. He opened the show for us yesterday morning. Oh, sorry, yesterday evening. In his winners round game. Not seen much of Jez Graham on this table. Some good action coming up today as well. This the only game ongoing at the moment. Just due to the way the draw pans out. Action properly underway at 1:30. And don't forget also that the bookie is back. The Badger, Jed Ronan, is now back at the venue and taking bets. Sadly, he's unable at the moment to take bets online, but if you come to the venue, he'll be here putting up odds for all of the match betting. This for a break. Great break. No. Little lack of knowledge of the rules there. Jay's asking, he's literally about to pick up the balls and push them back down the table to the referee. But not in these rules. Black ball just gets respotted with no penalty. No need to re-rack, which I think is a great rule. Had Jez have picked that ball up and thrown it back to the referee, it would have been loss of frame. So the players just need to be careful and mindful of the rules. These, of course, different to world rules and black ball rules. That would have been a re-rack. And unnecessarily so. Players shouldn't be penalised for the black going in. Basically, the black comes up and play continues as it would have. So if the player has potted a ball, he retains control of the table. If he broke dry, then he relinquishes control of the table. I'm not sure whether Jez was actually trying to come off with two cushions and nudge that yellow out. If so, that was a very good effort. I'll give him credit for doing so, but I'd have to think he did, because it was easy to get position without coming that distance around the table. As it is, he's probably just flicked that worse. I was just talking about Jez and his doubles. He's going to let me down now. Look at that. It's typical, isn't it? Commentator's curse. I was just talking about Jez being one of the best doublers and treblers in the game. And he goes and misses one. A little bit surprised he took that, to be honest. Don't think he needed to. He could have potted the yellow nearest this bottom cushion and left himself a better angle for the double. He obviously saw it a different way. Where's the cue ball here? He's okay. Probably just a little bit closer to that middle bag than comfortable. But he's back in control now. Back in prime position. know it's just coming to late evening over there in Australia, and I know you guys will be tuning in to watch Jake. Jake, a very popular player down under. And you can see why. He's a real talent. And that's 2-0. And this could, in a race to 8, very quickly get away from Jez if he's not careful. Next up on the main arena table is a man that's really starting to find some form this weekend. And that's Craig Marsh. He'll be in action against the young Maltese man, Leiden de Bono. Over on table 11 is the small affair between two of the fastest players in the game. And there will literally be fireworks going off around that table. Jordan Shepherd against Darren McVicker. The other stream games will be Mark Ball against Ben Flack and John McAllister against Josh Kane. 4 tables streaming all weekend. At least until we get to the semi-finals tomorrow. And of course there would only be 2. This is another nice break. Cubal's gone a little bit rogue at the top of the table, but he's got a little drop in to left centre to open the account. He can go yellows if he wishes. Either ball set's fine. In fact, probably slightly favour yellow just because of the red on the right hand side cushion. Jake, in his first round match yesterday, saw him playing the young local man Sam Bircher, and fair to say Jake probably struggled a little in that game. The break wasn't quite going for him. It was a very swingy game. Must be quite difficult. I know Jake gets there a couple of days early, but it takes a long time to recover from that jet lag. Bit of a loose shot there from Jake, just pushing the red and yellow together on the left-hand side, so everything was open, and now he's got a problem ball. He has an angle now that he could play the yellow to bottom left, and actually no, he can't. He can't get past the black. Sorry, the referee had marked the black and taken it off the table. So actually, this is quite tricky now. He can pop the one to right middle, but leaving himself an angle to attack that red and yellow could be difficult. And that's what he was after. He was after just trying to get below the black, and he's compromised the position. And now he's in a spot of bother. Good morning to everyone, or sorry, good afternoon to everyone. And good evening to those of you tuning in from Australia. We hope you're enjoying the action this weekend. We're Beard Productions, and this is the Supreme Pool Series. Clever. Clever little shot. Don't think it's come out for him though. Little grimace tells you that it's probably just a touch more awkward. Got to be careful here. It's running into the second yellow. It was just about controlling the pace, which he did well. Not much could have gone wrong with that, but just need to be careful. But now this should be 3-0. And Jake looking a different player to the one we saw yesterday, much more confident.
Fourth frame, Jez Graham to break, trailing 3 frames to 0. Time running.
That's another really nicely timed break from Jez. You just get that different sound, don't you? It just sounds like a more solid hit. Almost like a golfer when he hits a sweet spot. You just that different sound. But it's just come out a bit tricky again. Similar to the last time Jez broke off. local lad, Neil Raybone, on the left-hand side of your screen, watching on. Jez has been unfortunate with the first couple of breaks, and Jake couldn't take advantage with the double, so Jez with a nice chance here. Have to excuse me, I'm just going to step away from commentary for a couple of moments. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Fifth frame, Jake McCartney to break, leading 3 frames to 1. Time running.
It's a fairly simple game when you can break, as Jake has here. Put 3 balls off the break. Everything goes open, makes it fairly simple.
Right.
4-1. Each time we stream today, it will create a new stream. If you each time could like and share that stream, it would be very helpful. Just to get exposure, we're now streaming across YouTube and Facebook, and also on Twitter. So 3 platforms.
Sixth frame. Just going to break, trading 4 frames to 1. Time running.
Both players breaking well. So just too many mistakes from Jez. It's really let Jake have free rein in this one. That's a nice shot. Well controlled. And now there's simple black for 5 frames to 1. As I say, recognise that there'll be people joining us throughout the day, so welcome to the Supreme Pool Series. And this is event 3. This is losers round 1. I'm joined on commentary now by Shane Thompson. Morning, Shane.
Morning, Nick. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Have you been watching this one, or you just been...
I've literally got it about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not until half 1, so I thought it wasn't worth coming in too early.
Jez just not seeming to perform.
No, I probably would have put Jez favourite for this game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, they might not recognise Jez, but being from the West Country, we know, what he's capable of.
Yeah, definitely. Is this the only game going on at the moment?
It is, yeah. So if you are local to the Midlands, do come and join us today. There should be some great action. All the tables are going to be underway by 1:30. As I say, the bookie's back on site. Albeit, he had a late night last night. He was at the casino.
This Jake, yeah?
Jed.
Oh, right, okay. Doing his knackers.
Yeah. He's always doing his knackers.
Oh, some break.
They've been breaking really well.
This table seems to look real fast.
So players on a 45-second clock. You can see the timer on the right-hand side of the screen, which is another great addition. Each player allowed 1 time extension of 45 seconds per frame. Probably, so you might see Jake use it now, but he was plotting his path, which he's now done. So he's going to work on these 3 yellows on the right-hand side, and then come back up. The one over the middle, and then the one over the top right to get onto the black.
This table looks like it's playing really well.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit straight here.
So your event so far is just about West Country West Country derbies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oli Blade in the first
10-mile
one.
radius.
Oli Blade in the first one, and Adam Penwell in the next.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a buy in the next, isn't it, really?
Well, let's hope so. Nah, Adam can play, but yeah, I do fancy my chances for that one.
Yeah. Well, the bookie has got you down as no odds, no offers.
No, that's terrible, isn't it? I'd have had to go at 1 to 10.
Yeah. He's controlling the ball well. He's definitely found his touch this morning. Seemed to desert him slightly yesterday, but
Has Jez had chances?
not really. No. Kind of.
Wow.
Commentator's curse again.
Well, he's got chances now.
Yeah. I mean, he had a chance in his first breaking frame, and left an awkward double, which I was surprised that he took on. He's a very good doubler.
Yeah.
He actually took it as a treble. But Yeah, I was kind of surprised he took it on when he had other options available to him, but he's
He doesn't usually take risks.
no.
He's more, well, he's very solid, so he doesn't really push the boat out, sort of thing.
But in fairness, we haven't seen a massive amount of him at the table. It's been about Jake, who's breaking very well.
Yeah, that was probably the best break I've seen all weekend, to be fair. Surprised to miss one in the middle.
The one before that was probably better. Potted 3 balls off of it and left dollies.
No. I think he's got a little bit there.
Yeah, just enough, I think. He can punch this out. Just needs to get around about the bulk line. Like to be probably just a couple of inches across the bulk line, but anywhere around it and he's going to have a shot. No.
Cheers.
And it was just a touch straight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
probably a little bit straighter than I thought it was. And you could see where the cue balls landed. He had no shot on that red to top right, so he would have had to reroute anyway.
Yeah.
But that's just uncharacteristic from him.
I think it's scoreboard pressure more than anything.
Yeah.
Jay's got to watch the ball don't slide it.
You can see him putting side on, checking it.
Shot.
Yeah.
Worrying times for Jez.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
if hit 5-2, I think he's got a chance, but 6-1's a big ask.
Doesn't look particularly over enamoured at the situation at the moment, does he? He's just, as I say, not at the races.
No, he doesn't look himself.
No. It's not often you'll see Jez Graham out of a tournament by losers one.
No. No, definitely not.
Jez Graham to break, trading 6 frames to 1. Time money.
Another great break.
If that yellow goes top right, then I think these could be gone. Well, the Jez I know would take these out easily.
Yeah.
Red's in play.
Just took reds. And they actually look easier than the yellows did now.
Just working out where he wants to play that red to middle from.
I think left as we look, yeah.
Yeah, this looks perfect now. Shouldn't be missing from here.
That's perfect.
It's more like it from Jez. I mean, it's a simple enough clearance, but he needed something like this just to be able to settle himself.
Well, he's not going to give up, we know that.
No. I think he had his back against the wall yesterday when he was it Liam? No, who was it?
He played Liam
It
White
was like
yesterday,
Liam
yeah.
White, wasn't it? And I think at one point he was 8-3 down, and he battled back to. I'm sure he got back to 8-7.
8-7, yeah, and I think it finished 11-7.
Yeah.
But I did watch a bit of that game, and Liam looked quite good.
He's a good young player for sure.
Yeah, local lad as well. So
I saw him talking his way through the game with Gaz Potts afterwards. I think he practices occasionally with Gaz and uses him as a bit of a mentor. So
yeah, I think
worse people to have in your corner.
I think a few years ago, I think they all used to play together because
Yeah.
Liam. I think Liam played under 21 England.
Yeah.
Not sure if he played men's, but yeah, he's been around for a long time.
Used to play in the staffs team as well.
Yeah, some team they had.
Mm. Yeah, just a bit.
If you just turn up to Yarmouth just to collect a trophy.
There's some great players around this area. Isn't there?
Yeah, it's a real hotbed. Even
Yeah.
all around the Midlands is
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, when you think Rob Chilton's from this area, and
Yeah,
just
Even-
a bit
even-
further down actually, I think.
yeah. I think even Leicester, like Leicester's
Yeah.
county team, super like interleague team, is just ridiculous. A few of them obviously don't live in Leicester, but 90% of them do.
Ninth frame, Jake McCartney to break, leading 6 frames to 2. Time running.
Wow,
Oh. Wow.
that's a chance for Jez.
This is fairly similar of Jake's game that he played against Sam Birchie yesterday, but a bit of a role reversal because I think Sam was 5-1 ahead, and the next thing Jake was 6-5 ahead, and then Sam ended up winning it comfortably. But there's another swingy game, perhaps. Jez can find a win here, 6-3 with the break. It's a very
He's
different
got a
game.
chance. I think you just got to keep Jake off the hill, and I think he, as long as you keep him off the hill, then you've always got a chance. Let's talk about this first shot. If he can get this right, then don't think the one down the rail's a problem. The table looks like it's playing well enough just to drop it in.
Is he just looking to stun back into this yellow to release the red towards the pocket? The only problem is what he's going to be left with next, isn't it?
And he's flipped the red as well, so I don't think it pots now. Unless it, I don't know.
I think that was always going to be the problem. If you didn't land on that ball to top left, you were never going to be on much, were you?
He's walking like he's on it now, but it looks quite tight for me.
Yeah, it does.
But even if he pots this, then he's going to struggle to be on his next ball.
Yeah.
Unless he can just screw it off the yellow.
Probably, yeah. I think you can probably screw it off the yellow. So.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Very nice. He's going to have to hold on a red here, isn't he? He's got too much angle. Yeah. Unless he can just miss that yellow. Is he looking at developing the one on the side rail?
I don't think you need to.
No, I don't think he does either. But I'm just wondering
well, if it's natural, then you play it. But
just to nudge it up, and he's going to leave himself on the opposite if he makes a full ball contact.
The thing is, I don't think I want to move it though, because if you hit it full and it ends up by the yellow on the rail,
it could be worse. But that's what he's gone for.
Yeah,
it's a good shot. Very nice. There was some risk attached to it, but he played it at a really nice pace.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Judged the line very well.
I think this ball in the middle is easier than it looks on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's right behind it.
Yeah.
Could take the one to middle or the one to bottom left. One to bottom left, you think? Probably a little too much angle on the one to middle, isn't it?
I think you can play the one into... Oh, he's playing the corner, but I think you can play the one in the middle and just hold on the red.
Hold on the red, yeah. He's going to play this, and I think he's going to hold on the black. He's just come above it. I think he was trying to hold on the black, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he did, but he's not on that, I don't think.
No, that was a mistake.
Lucky for him, he's still got a shot, but... Yeah, I think the one in the middle, you're guaranteed to go into the red.
Yeah.
That's one good pot now. He's naturally going to come back across for the red anyway, so just make sure the pot. Got a lot more angle than I thought.
Well,
he played with so much side.
Yeah.
I don't think he needed to.
No, and he's come a lot lower than he needed to be, hasn't he? Yeah. That side kicked in. He could have been quite a bit higher, and of course, as soon as you use that side, it throws the object ball, doesn't it? So it's thrown it to the left knuckle, and another fairly loose shot. You got to say.
Yeah, it's another chance gone.
That was a really, really makeable clearance there for Jez. But nothing easy here for Jake, really. I mean, he's got
an easy safety, but
yeah. But he's going to have this. He's got this yellow to the right of the white line, tied up next to the red. The one on the bottom cushion, there's one on the side rail. So, as you say, he's got a simple enough safety, but he's going to have to start developing his balls at the same time. Clever little attempt, just to try and get the one off the rail and leave himself safe.
Yeah, he's got a snooker. That's actually a very good shot.
Yeah.
Might have left Jez the edge here.
So he developed two of his problem balls and got the snooker at the same time.
Yeah, he's actually played it really well.
Yeah, and it's not. I was about to say it's not a total, but it's not a total anyway.
No.
Played two pre balls. So look, But it was,
If he's left Jez the edge here, then he can play the plan. Because all you got to do is miss the yellow.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
That's unlucky. I'm surprised in some ways that he was looking to go top railway
Yeah.
side. If he had the edge, then that is unlucky there. And he doesn't have any angle. Just looking at bending it, I was going to say he doesn't have any angle to come once or even twice across the table. This is the kind of thing you'd like to come twice across the table and cover it from a narrower angle.
It's going to slide.
He's going to try it off of one. Oh, what a great shot. How unlucky is this? How unlucky is this? That's horrible. He's just pulled out a couple of blinding shots.
Oh, for his next trick.
Well, if he gets this one as well, this will be a Houdini escape. How unfortunate do you need to be?
It's unbelievable.
He's going to get close with this. Oh, needed a little flick on the yellow, didn't he? A little flick on the yellow would have helped it towards the pocket, but ultimately it's another mistake from Jez. And
all these yellows go now. So
yeah, make
you got to drop this in on the rail. Yellow goes easy enough in the middle. So.
Oh dear. He knew he had the element of safety if he missed it, but
yeah, sometimes you'd rather just play it knowing that if you miss it, you're going to leave it.
Yeah.
You concentrate 100% then.
Yeah, it's amazing how much that focuses the mind when you've got that pressure, knowing that it's gonna be frame over if you miss.
Yeah, definitely. He's looking to bend this.
This is an awkward bend though, isn't it? Because the yellow's so far away. Oh, another great effort. And he's not tied up that yellow, so now the balls really are in the open, and Jake should very much be clearing from here to
ball
get
in the middle
himself on the
first,
hill.
and it's good to go.
Big frame this one, 6-3 with the break to go 6-4.
Yeah, it was the same as
or
the frame to go
7-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
The chance he missed to go 5-2 is.
You feel he's literally just a couple of shots away from being in the match.
Yeah. Surprised he didn't play the one in the middle first.
I was thinking exactly the same thing, yeah.
So it looks easy enough. And he wasn't queuing off the rail or anything like that. He had a lot of room just to do whatever he wanted with the white. Even though he didn't have to do anything to white. I think Jake's blessed to even have his own queue, because when I got here Thursday, they lost his queue in Doha.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't think he got his queue till Friday afternoon.
What a nightmare.
I'd go berserk if they lost my queue.
Yeah, didn't Stephen Hendry famously get his queue stolen or lost it?
I think they
Was it lost?
they broke it, didn't they? Didn't
Yeah, broken on a flight, was it? Something like that, wasn't it? And he always said that he never felt he played the same way after.
they? Yeah, he lied.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he's gone this way.
But it is like a, it's a very personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
It's if you've been playing with the same cue for years, then it's really difficult to replicate.
Yeah.
Someone can make an imitation, but there's just the balance point's just going to be slightly different, or it's just not going to.
Well, unless you've got a really good key maker that can make you something
Well,
similar.
the thing is, no two pieces of wood are the same.
No, that's
either.
true,
It's different densities and so on and so forth.
made this harder than you needed it to be.
Yeah.
So I'll screw this back about 6 inches and it'll be perfect.
Yeah, just about timing the ball. Really nice. And he's going to go to the hill. 7 frames to 2. And you feel it's a bit of a stretch too far for Jez to come back from this one.
Yeah, the frame at 5-2 was big, and then obviously that one there to go 6-3. It's 2 big frames that you just let get away from him.
So coming up after this game is going to be Craig Marsh playing the young Maltese in Leiden de Bono, and over on table 11. In fact, it's moved again. It was on table 11, it's now on table 4. Jordan Shepherd against Darren McVicker. That is another stream game.
10th frame. Jez Grant to break. Trailing 7 frames to 2. Time running.
Yeah.
That's a dry break from Jez.
Yeah, it could be curtains.
I think the yellows ain't too bad. I think they all come together quite nicely.
There's a little cluster in the middle, but as you
They've
remove
all
one,
got
it
a
opens
yeah,
up.
they've all got a pocket, but
yeah.
it's the one right at the bottom of the table. That's the
That's
the only tricky, like little tricky one.
It's one of those. If he can finish around about the blue spot or just the right of it, what would be the blue spot, then he can play the one to the left of the black and then just run through for that yellow at the bottom of the pack to the.
I think he could
bottom
probably
right.
he could probably stun that one in, then play the one below the black into the bottom right, and then come down for the.
Yeah. Ooh. Use the whole pocket. As Ted Lowe would say, it wiped his feet. Or as Ted Lowe would have once said. Any of the youngsters listening probably won't have a clue who Ted Lowe is. One of the very famous commentators from snooker from the kind of 1970s and 80s and 90s. I remember sitting with my granddad watching snooker in black and white.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near that.
Yeah, they had a black and white TV back in the early 80s and sit there watching it. And my granddad knew exactly which every ball was. I ended up knowing, you know, even in black and white, each of the ball had a slightly different shade.
Okay.
I still knew which was the
bit,
green, which was the brown.
A bit tricky to figure out.
Yeah, the difference between the yellow and the cue ball was a little bit tricky to tell, but yeah, you could still watch it. My granddad knew. Loved the game. Brilliant billiard play he was. There's a kind of dying art, isn't it, billiards?
I've never ever played. I've watched it a couple of times, but I've never ever played it.
Yeah, I used to play him at billiards. Lovely game.
I used to have a league round where I used to live in Bristol. But I think the average age is about 65.
Yeah, probably. As I say, it's a dying art. I think they still play versions of it in France and in quite a lot of parts of Europe, to be honest.
I think it's 3 cushion though, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got this. They got the one with the
no pockets.
With no pockets.
Yeah.
The tables with no pockets.
That's unbelievable. I've actually watched on Eurosport. That is unbelievable.
It is incredible.
Some of the
The knowledge of the table is just immense.
Well, they play it on speed, like a real fine speed cloth. So any sort of side and.
Yeah, it pings. Oh, no shot. No shot.
I don't even think he can cut this in the corner because I think he's only off. And you won't be on the black.
One thing that amazed me about my granddad playing snooker and billiards, and a lot of the older guys, to be honest, is he'd never get down on his cue. He was literally playing the shots from a standing position. His chin was 2 foot above or 1.5 foot above the cue. Never used to get down on the cue. But he was an amazing cueist for it. I mean, there's a few people that still do that now, isn't there? I think.
There's not many. I think. Who was it that used to do that? There's a young lad from around my way.
Yeah, there is.
But it is unbelievable.
Is it? Yeah, Russell Burgess from the southwest. He's
not on the cue.
No.
Some player he is as well. Still is as well. Unbelievable.
It's amazing because you see Jez right there. It's the stereotypical. Your chin's looking straight down the barrel. You're sighting through the cue ball. You're sighting where you want to hit on the cue ball and looking through the ball to the pocket. So you've got everything in a line.
Yeah.
But when your chin's like 18 inches
hard.
above the ball,
it must be hard.
It's almost like playing. Like when you're hamper cueing, like when you're Chinese snookered.
Yeah.
When you can't see the line of the ball, it makes the shot so much harder.
Down,
I don't understand how they do it.
It's a great shot. Well, he sped up a little bit, so maybe he's just letting his arm go.
Yeah, nothing to lose now.
The loser stroke.
Yeah.
I've done it plenty of times, been far behind, and then I'll just let my arm go, and then all of a sudden I'm 7 or 8 or whatever.
And you think, why didn't I do this earlier?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a bit of attention. Are you surprised he's not going to take the one to middle first? Is it because he's...
I think it's because...
He's going to have to screw right past the black, isn't he?
I suppose he could just stun it and...
leave the angle.
Yeah.
He is playing the one to middle now. He's just going to take his medicine.
I think I would have stunned it, to be fair, just to...
Shouldn't be a problem, and the cue ball's naturally going to come around 2 rails back out, somewhere around about the blue spot, just to the right of it. Just overran it a fraction, but he's got a similar shot to the one he's just played. Shouldn't be a problem. There we go. Pulls one back. Someone asking what Adam Penwell's odds are. The bookie's got him priced at 5-1. So if you put yourself £20 on at 5-1, you'll get a return of precisely 0.
Classic. Can't beat an old classic.
You knew that was coming as well,
I
didn't
knew
you?
it was coming. I was waiting for it. Yeah, you can't be a good one.
Can't need a break. Leaving 7 frames to 3. Try mine.
Take a break then. Be looking to finish this now. He's off again. Oh, Jesus. Well, it's dry anyway. Just that red left by the black.
Yeah.
I don't think it goes.
No, I don't think so. There are a couple of balls that he could use to move it. But it's just the traffic that really causes a problem through the middle of the table, isn't it? All around that black spot area, there's a lot of traffic.
To be fair, looking at that, it might actually creep by. The way he's played that, it might go. Oh, he's not on it, I think.
No, I'd have to say it doesn't.
He's going into it. Even if he moves the yellow, just open up a little bit. Oh no.
Wow. Has he got an angle on the one to middle to screw back, even if not into the red, into the yellow? Doesn't leave him a lot though, does it? If
No. I think while that red's covering the yellow at the top, I think he can maybe just even play a double.
Yeah. I've definitely cursed him today by saying he's a good doubler because he's not got close.
I think with brand new cloths and stuff, they are sliding a little bit, so it'd be a bit tricky to judge. I think I might have to get ready to play in a minute.
Yeah, not going to be long, is it? They're going to be calling you in about another 10-15 minutes. Go and try on those new shoes of yours.
Oh, nightmare this morning. It's just me being lazy. Didn't undo the laces, trying to slide them on.
So he played for a double here.
Yeah, yellow looks frozen as well. So.
Yeah. Which makes it much harder. Can just focus on the pot because he's always going to be guaranteed to be on the next ball. That's a nice shot. Oh no, that's disaster though.
Unlucky.
That really is unlucky.
Yeah. Wonder if there's a gap.
I say he could focus on the pot because he's going to be guaranteed a shot with that yellow over the pocket, but
There's a gap in the middle bag. So red's not right over the middle of the bag, so wonder if he's got a bit of room.
nasty little shot playing hamper queuing as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Looks close to being queuing on the plastic of the pocket as well, so.
that's what he's looking at.
Oh, he's fine.
Clever shot.
That's a good shot. Just got to drop this in now.
There wasn't quite the space there, but he just used the red to guide the yellow in.
He's only got to drop this in. Yellow in the corner.
Yep.
White bottom rail.
And just navigate the gap.
I think he's trying to go for it now, but I don't think.
No, I don't think that's the right shot.
I don't think he needs to.
If he drops that in, he's going to have a fairly natural angle. He can just drift across. You'd fancy hitting that gap. No.
No, I would have just dropped it.
And now this is more awkward to find that gap. It would have.
Well, he's off angle straight away.
Yeah,
so.
far more comfortable from where he was. I mean, he can screw straight back, but judging the pace is much more difficult than it would have been just playing it to come off the bottom rail.
Well, he needs to be on that chalk mark by the blue spot. What's he doing? Oh, he's played that well. Hampered a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think he's alright. Just stun out a little bit, or even just drop it onto the red and then cut it black in the middle.
2 inches less of pace, and this was much easier, wasn't it? I think it's just about not being able to get the cue ball out now. I think, as you say, all he can do is just hold on the red and leave himself a thin snick into middle. And he's trying to dig down into it. Maybe he can. No.
That's a good shot. Well, I think that's all she wrote.
Nice. Nice game from Jake, and he goes through into losers side 2. We bid farewell to Jez Graham. He's going to be heading back down the M5 to the West Country. Just didn't turn up today. Just one of them.
Yeah, well, he didn't look himself at all, did he?
No. So from us, we're going to catch a few words with Jake and just get his thoughts on the match over in the interview room in just a few minutes. Next up on the main arena table is going to be Craig Marsh against Leiden de Bono. That should be underway in about 10 minutes or so, but we will see you in just a couple moments in the interview room. Speak to you soon. Thanks, Shane.
Cheers, mate.
We're joined by Jake off the back of that win. Jake, you showed a lot more consistency there than yesterday, perhaps?
Correct. I'm not one for any excuse in that, but my prep on the prior to coming here wasn't awesome, just with other commitments back home. And then, where do I start? The flight over was not awesome. Basically, there were just a couple of things that happened on the plane. I couldn't sleep, and then they left me queue in Doha, so I didn't get it yesterday. So everything that, sort of could have gone wrong on the way here, sort of did. But no excuses on you. I sort of had to improve after last night and, tucked in, had a good night's sleep, got up this morning and just said to my mate who's with me, I just, just got to regroup and go again, really, just one match at a time.
Yeah.
So, but I do feel a whole bunch better today, though.
Yeah.
So we'll just see what happens.
Probably not a classic performance from Jez. I mean, he didn't show what he's capable of there, but at the end of the day, you just did what you had to do.
Yeah, I think early on too, I was breaking well early on in the match. I think I ran a couple of racks and even a couple of his as well. And, I think race to 8, with the quality, play that here, I think, the start of a match really important. I find it tough. If you're 4-1, 5-1 down, race to 8, your opponent's got so many breaks up their sleeve, they can run racks. So, I'm just happy to sort of come away with the win.
Are you starting to like that arena table? You've been on there a few times now.
Yeah, well, the only 2 matches I've had, I've been at. Obviously, the more I come over and play on the table, the better I feel.
Yeah.
I know when I get home, because I've got one of the Supremes back in Australia, I'll have it set up permanently as soon as I get home at the end of this month. So, the last 2 events, I'm going to do everything right. Probably even come over a bit earlier too for the last 2 events and give it a red hot crack, really.
Just talk us through. I mean, it's a whole different ball game for you. A lot of the guys here, they're either coming just up the road or they've got a few-hour drive. You've got a 30-hour flight. I mean, does it take time to? You talked about that. That problem you had with the flight coming over.
Yeah, normally, like the first 2 events, if if I can get some sleep, like when I book a flight, when the missus books me a flight, I sort of have a look at it and go, we'll leave it this time. If I can sleep during the night on the plane, I can get here in the morning. So just trying to keep the body clock intact. Obviously, if that doesn't work, then all of a sudden, with the time difference, it's like 2 days you haven't slept.
Yeah.
So it is. It does take it out of you a little, but obviously looking after yourself, not partying and whatnot, helps. I don't want to drink, but, just...
Is that possible?
You
like a Jack Daniels?
Yeah, I do. I'll wait until the tournament's done. But no, it is, and that's why I've sort of. This is probably the first event out of the first 3 that I've come over. I've just had a bit of dramas, coming over just sleep-wise and that, and it's sort of no excuse because I thought Sam last night played well, but I didn't feel 100%.
Yeah. So
I've just sort of said to myself, the last 2 events. There's nothing wrong with coming over a couple of days early. You can have a hit, make sure the queue gets here, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
And take it from there.
You played in the big guns recently. How did that go?
Yeah, in April. I lost in the was it last 16 to Tim Dixon, who I think he was actually he used to live over here somewhere.
Yeah.
He played well in the last 16. And then lost to Mick Hill in the Anzac Day final, which was a tournament basically just on top of the big guns. So.
No shame in losing to Mick.
No. He won big guns, he won Anzac. Like he'd done about 100 shows while he was there. He'd done everything. But, full credit to him. He can't knock the bloke for the amount of hours. He's probably... No, in my book, he's the best I've seen as far as 2 shots concerned. It just makes it look so easy. And, full credit to him.
Is it, from an Australian perspective, is it good to have Mick coming across, or would you rather just... Go away, Mick, I want to try and win this. Because he has dominated the big guns in some ways. I mean, you've won it yourself, but...
He has, and, there's a lot of... There's been a few of the Aussie blokes that have pushed him as well. He's gone, I know, probably 4 or 5 times, he's been 10-all, but he just has this, he's a freak at 10-all just to win that final frame. But I'd love more English guys to come over. Like, I know last time we were talking about the tables and, the players. Like, I find, just my honest opinion, I just find our tables... not harder as such, but I don't know. Just the 2 games, like the way you can pot and do things with the white on these tables, is just completely different to ours. Like it's just things that you can't do, on our tables you can do on these. Vice versa. It just sort of comes down to practice. Just sort of knowing what you can and can't do, and obviously the cloth too, so much more reactive. There's a couple of shots there, even that. I think the second last frame there, I've just gone to roll the ball in the middle, and normally I just cut in the black back home, and I've gone past it and fallen out of position and lost the frame. But I love them. And at the end of the day, back home, everyone I'm speaking to, I've just said, listen, we really need to get these tables in. The rule set. I love them, and I think Australia's like one of the only countries too in the world that are using like our 7-footers. Like you step foot out of Australia, like anywhere European or over here, it's all these Supreme, 6-footers. So.
I described them yesterday as like a mini snooker table. Is that a fair description?
Yeah, it is. But just the pocket cuts are different. Like I find balls on rails here easier than ours, but I find balls in centre pockets here harder than what ours are back home. So, it changes. Back home, you find a lot more people doubling balls, than trying to take them down the rail. Where here, I feel better trying to, put them down the rail. So, but I love them. I really do. They're just all consistent. I love the cloth, the pace. I love everything about it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, all I can say is best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate it, mate.
See you again soon.
Thank you.
So next up on the main arena table is going to be Craig Marsh against Lydon de Bono. Across on one of the other TV tables, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be Jordan Shepherd against Darren McVicker, and that will be fireworks. So enjoy the action.